Hello guys, and welcome to me, and I'm going to be talking about the damage formula. Basically, this is the formula that I've been using for all of the damage calcs. It is very accurate. It will get your damage pretty close. Now, there are some nuances with it. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 factors. You are going to know what's going on unless I explain it, because a lot of these factors can be misunderstood, so we will be getting into it, and I will be explaining all 11 factors one by one. First factor is your base attack plus elemental attack. So elemental attack is added to your base attack, which makes it a good stat. Not the greatest stat in the game, but it is a really good stat. Sometimes crit is better, sometimes elemental attack is better, sometimes attack percent is better. They're all good. So whenever you click on your cookie, right here, this is your base attack, right? So whenever you get more elemental attack, it just adds on to that, but it does not show. It shows in this green part. One weird thing though is that characters that ascend attack percentage get the attack percentage right here. This is sort of a naked attack, if you want to call it that. It is the attack that your cookie has when nothing is on them. So this is her base attack times her attack percent that she gets at base. So whenever you level her, you get 10% attack percent every single time that you ascend her. So you have to divide by 1.3 to get her base attack. Also, something to know about base attack is that this third promotion right here is base stat, so it does get multiplied into your base attack. So you take your base attack times 1.08 to get your new base attack, but it does show in the stat page right down here. So now that we have your base attack plus your elemental attack, then we multiply that by your attack percent. So this means whenever you get attack percent, for example, Chili Artifact, right? You get 35 attack percent, and then that takes your base attack and multiplies the new attack percent by your base attack, then puts it right here and it adds it. So effectively, you're getting 1, which is your original attack. So you're multiplying by 1 point or plus every single percentage of attack you have. So if you have 35% attack, it's going to be 1 plus 0.35 attack. So if you add more attack, let's say we add 44 attack, right? Then we are getting 44 more attack percent. We are now multiplying this by 1.79. So then you have this weird stat that isn't attack percent, but it reads like attack percent, and a lot of people get confused about it, and it's called attack increase. Attack increase can be found in Rockstar's buff. If you go look right here, Rockstar's buff says that it gives attack increase plus 50%. Another place that it can be found is Dark Chocolate passive. Right here, attack increase plus 25%. And then the last place that it can be found is in artifacts like cream sodas, which increases attack by 4% per stack. Rise increases attack, and kohlrabi's increases attack. There are other artifacts that can't give it, like Rockstar artifact, but it is attack percent that does not show up in your menu, and then multiplies the same way that attack percent did, but now to your new stat page attack. So you have this attack right here. So if we were to get 12% attack increase, you would then get this number times 1.12, giving you 12% more attack. Then our next factor is scaling. Scaling is a weird one. Not a lot of people know this, but you can go into your stats, right? And it says Chili Slash and attack using daggers. You can hit details here and you get your scalings. So every single time that you hit an enemy, it takes this much percentage of your attack and deals it as damage. So if you're calculating your first hit on Chili Pepper, you're going to want to multiply this and make this factor 0.44 because it's 44%. So if you convert 44 to a percentage, you divide it by 100. Next factor, specific attack. Now, specific attack is weird. What specific attack is whenever something is giving a buff to a specific type of attack, it is a new multiplier. For example, Dark Chocolate's artifact increases damage to the equipped cookie's special skill and ultimate, right? That is buffing a specific type of attack, so therefore it is a new multiplier, so in this case, you would multiply your damage of your special skill and your ultimate by 1.475. Another instance of this is Zest's second star, where you get the increase of your discharge by 25%, which is a increase of a specific ability and goes separately. Now, this one isn't as prevalent, so it won't be seen as much, but just know that is how the specific attack works. Next up, we will be talking about elemental damage. So, elemental damage is this stat that you have right here. Anything that it says increases elemental damage. One example of it will be Gingerbrave, right? If you look at Gingerbrave right here, it says earth damage increase. It says earth damage increase. Anytime that it says an element and then the word increase, you are increasing your elemental damage. Elemental damage works the same as all the other multipliers. Let's say you have 89.17 elemental damage. You are multiplying by 1.8917. So if you get more, you're just adding. Right? Whenever I get more elemental damage, it just adds on right there. It does not multiply. So let's say I had 110% elemental damage, I'd be multiplying by 2.1. Next up is crit. Now, this right here is an average crit multiplier, so it takes average of crit hits and non-crit hits, but how crit works in general is you have this crit rate, and this is how often you crit. So if you have 55.5% crit rate, whenever you hit the enemy, you have a 55.5% chance to crit. So whenever you crit, you deal 50% more damage if you have 150% crit damage. Yes, it is weird. It's not like the other stats where you add 1. So for example, let's say you had 250 crit damage. You are getting 150 more damage. So if you want to multiply just for the crit hit damage, you would either do 1 plus crit damage minus 1, or you could just put in crit damage. Either works, but just note that you are only getting 50% more damage from base crit damage. Next one is the doozy. I won't lie, we're going to get through these two really hard ones real quick. And then after we get through these two hard ones, we will have two easy ones to wrap it up. So this is defense. This is our defense multiplier. It looks weird. It looks weird. Actually, give me 1 second. We're going to Desmos. So, we are here in Desmos. Yes, you are seeing Desmos outside of school. My bad, guys. But this is our defense multiplier. Now, this is a constant. This is a constant. And then this is the enemy's defense, right? Now, I'm going to explain to you a little bit how defense works. So, you have this defense number. And then whenever you reduce this defense, what you would do is you would take it by 1 minus the percentage that you are reducing it by. Which basically what this means, if you're reducing defense by 20%, this will be 80%, so then you're taking 80% of the defense, which should make sense. It should be intuitive. If it's not, that's okay. Doesn't matter. Now, what I will say is one weird thing about defense and why it's a really long thing in there is because Ghost Set and Defense Pen do not add, they are multiplied. So what happens is whenever you use Ghost Set, you reduce the enemy's defense. But then whenever you use Defense Pen, then you go through the enemy's new defense instead of adding on to what Ghost Pen has already done. So you're kind of counteracting yourself. Now we're going to be looking at Res. Now Res, each enemy has resistance. So it's going to be 1 minus the enemy's resistance, right? Which is normally 0.2. And then we're going to be subtracting, right, how much resistance we take away. And this is our res. Now, if you see, res is a straight line. We like res. Res is really easy. One way that you can think about res, and it's not wrong, is you can think about res as in how much res shred you're doing times 1.25 will be your damage increase. This is essentially just the same thing. Does it matter how you view it? No. Just know that this factor is taking 1 minus the elemental resistance. So the enemy is taking 20% less damage. So 1 minus 20% is 80%. So they're taking 80% of the damage, which makes sense. And then whenever you get to elemental res shred, you subtract from their res, and it can go negative. So if you subtract 25% res, they are at -5 res, which means that they are taking 105% of their original damage, or 1.05. Now these next two ones are easy. These are your last two factors. And what happens is 1 plus recommended element increase Now, whenever you go into a stage, it says recommended elements, and it says plus 30% damage. 1 plus 0.30 if you're recommended element, or 1 if you are not recommended element. It's pretty straightforward, and it should be really easy. Next is 1 plus total damage. Now, this is what you get from your unique weapon. If you do not have your unique weapon, you're missing out on an entire multiplier. Yes, it is sad, but basically, what this is saying is that you're getting 1 plus whatever the unique is, which is scales from 20% at 1 star and 30% at 5 stars. So you just type in however much you get from your unique. So let's say we have a 1-star unique, right? So we are getting a 1.2 multiplied onto your damage. And then once you fill out all these factors, they all get multiplied together. So you can multiply them in any order. It does not have to be in this order. This is the order that I think makes the most sense to comprehend, because I feel like total damage should come last because it's doing more of your total damage. But this is just me. Tell me what you guys think, and that will be all. I will be linking the spread in the description. It is our new spread. It shows the increase for every single star on the cookies. It shows their best sets. It shows a whole lot. I'm working on it. It is buffless, so you do have to read the notes. AKA Chili Pepper, she does not cheat as well, but she gets a bigger increase from Rockstar than all of the other cookies on this list. So she does actually perform like really insane, even though that she is in like the lower spots. So don't take this sheet for 100%. Just kind of use it as a gauge. And honestly, I would use this for the increase of the stars mainly. This is just here for that I can use it and other people can use it, but no, it is not 100% and final. If a cookie is low on this, that does not mean that they are bad or worse than the other cookies. It could just mean that in a solo situation where they have no buffs, that they are worse.